Good morning, everyone. So, in the last class, we are trying to discuss with one important concept called VARAG concept here. So, basically, how this particular VARAG is going to work. Getting the point. So, we created one method called VA test here. So, which is expecting here array type parameter here, right? So, as of now, we did not discuss this kind of parameter, and we identified previously like the primitive data types here. Into a boolean or char or long double float. So these are the data types we identified here. But now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to pass as a array type as a parameter. Now you can observe what is the particular array type we are passing here, something called integer array here, right? Now we created so three types of this particular arrays here, and we are calling this particular method here. So with the help of this particular method, now we are passing the three types array information. So this particular three array information is going to handle by the V array information here. Getting the point. The V array is pointing like is having the data type called int. If I'm going to change here to any other data type here, we are going to get an error here because we're having incompatible data types here. So now here if you observe, we created three arrays and I'm trying to call three methods here. Three times I'm calling the same method here. I'm trying to call three times for the same method here. If we observe with the help of this particular var concept here, how I'm going to change here. Getting the point. Now we need to think how this particular var is going to work internally. Let me define one more class here. Here what I'm going to write here, the name of the class I'm going to take as a varargs, and inside this particular varargs here, now I'm trying to define one static method. So what is the name of the method I'm trying to define here? VA test. Getting the point. And here now what I'm doing here, so I'm trying to add, so this section we are going to call it as a vararg. So three dots. After that, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to define that variable name here. So this particular variable name is going to hold whatever the data we are passing while calling this particular method. Getting the point. So this is important here. Now you can observe. So previously we defined as a array type here, but I'm not defining any array type right now. So just I'm defining three dots. After that v. So v is here variable here. Getting the point. So let me copy the same information here. So this is the information I want to copy. Inside this particular method, I'm pasting as a number of argument v dot length and a loop we are trying to check here. Getting the point. So this particular loop we are printing, and after this, now what I'm going to write here, I will close this particular method. I'm closing this particular VA test method, and I'm trying to define main method here. Getting the point. So I'm trying to define main method. So once I define this particular main method, now you can observe. So previously, if I'm going to call this particular method, so what we did here, we defined this type of arrays, and we call the with a reference of the particular array type, we call the methods here. But now what I'm going to write here, so directly you can observe. So this is VA test method. VA test method we defined here, and which is expecting integer parameter. Now we need to pass integer parameter. Getting the point? The first one I'm passing as a 10. First one I'm passing as a 10 here, and second one I'm passing as a 1, 2, 3, and third one I'm passing with no parameters. Getting the point? Third one I'm passing as a with no parameters here. Now you can see I'm not defining any integer array here. So directly I'm providing the values here. Directly I'm providing the values here. So observe carefully what happens internally. Getting the point? Now I'm closing main method as well as this particular var class here. Let me save this particular var class here. And after saving this particular class, now what we are going to do, we'll compile and execute this particular simple example. But now, whenever I'm trying to call this particular method with the one parameter, what happens internally? So this particular method is going to call. Once this particular method is called internally, so it will try to, these three are going to convert it as a array type internally. With the help of this particular array type, again we are checking the length, and we're trying to repeat the loop. We're trying to repeat the loop for the second time. For the second time also, when we are calling this particular var method here, internally the values are going to store inside the array type only. But here we are not defining explicitly. Getting the point? Internal is going to take care of the conversion here. Even though whenever I'm trying to pass, but if you observe carefully, this method is looking as a normal method. The normal method we're trying to pass as a 3 parameters. But here you can observe the same method is expecting 1 parameter. So the same method is not like this particular method, so does not taking any parameters here. Getting the point? So these are about the 3 methods. If you know the simple method overloading concept here, we already implemented here. But in our class we don't have a the overloading concept methods here. Only one method we defined here. Only one method we defined, which is expecting. So how many values we want to pass, we can pass. Now if you observe here, I can pass more than one value. Getting the point? Now you can check here. So there is no condition here. Getting the point? So there is no condition. You can pass any values here. So based on this particular input here, we don't want to change any method parameters here. So this is very important concept here. Once we define this particular var concept here, so how many parameters we are trying to give? So we don't want to change the existing code here. We don't want to change the existing parameter logic here. So this particular concept we are going to call it as a var here. Okay. So observe here, go to this particular command prompt, javac var.java. Let me compile this particular class. It's compiled successfully. And Java var. Now you can observe. So let me change this particular println also. Let me print one more time. Okay, all are coming in the same line. So println. Now you can observe. So this is for first parameters. Getting the point. So this is for our first parameters, and this is for our second parameters, and so this is for our third parameters here. Getting the point. We given so 10 to 90 values here. But if we observe carefully, whenever I'm trying to change this particular parameter, we're not changing this particular method parameter list here. Getting the point. So this is indicating var concept here. If I'm going to define as a normal method, so let's say, so if I've defined int a comma int b, so two parameters are defined here. Getting the point. But if I'm going to give this particular three parameters here, if I'm going to give this particular three parameters, so it's going to give an error here. Compiler cannot find the three parameterized method here. Only we're having two parameters here. Only we are having two parameters here. Getting the point. So now if I want to add this particular parameter, what I need to do? Here we need to define one more parameter here. Getting the point. But so based on this particular increment parameter, we need to add here the method parameters here. So now you can see if I'm going to define just the var concept method like this, you can define how many methods we want to write it. So this is indicating this particular var concept here. So this is also important here. Whenever based on our value change here, we can work with the var concept here. Any questions regarding this particular var concept here?
Um,
Okay.
suppose we have one method, okay, in the class with the two arguments and VA test method also there with var. So which one will be the precedence? Yeah, when we call the method, right? So which one will take precedence?
Okay. So just wait here. We'll define so that we'll get to know like more information. System.out.println. Okay, I'm trying to pass only two parameters here. So into a comma and into b, and here also the second method we are passing 1 2. Let me compile here. Now you can observe a value 1, b value 2.
Okay. That means
It's taking the higher priority to the whatever the parameters we are having. So if that particular parameter is not found, it will check for this particular var.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll try to focus on the one more example here. And if I'm going to write how exactly this particular second example is going to work, let me define so var2 and so I'm trying to define one method called same method I'm trying to define va test. but this particular VA test is going to take as a one more parameter like string message and integer. One more parameter I'm trying to pass as a var concept here. And now what I'm trying to do here, so with the help of system.out.println, I'm trying to pass one message with b dot length. Otherwise we can add here so var length. Right, now if I'm going to have three values here, we'll try to print all the values here. Into x, value I'm trying to print system.out.println. So this is all about the VA test method, and now I'm trying to define our main method. So inside this particular main method, now this particular VA test method is expecting two parameters. One is a string, another one is var method here. So var parameter. Let me define VA test here. I want to add one first parameter as a string parameter. So one parameter, and here I'm going to specify 10. And so we'll define 4. Right. And I'm not defining anything here. So this is nothing but no parameters. No parameters. Okay, now you can observe, if you think here, so this is basically the simple method which is expecting one string as a parameter. But the particular string as a parameter we don't have here. So what it will do? Again, the compiler will go for the second option here, the var method with a string parameter here. Right. So back to here, the main method is closed, and I'm trying to close with the class level brace here. Let me clear the console. Java C var2.java. So it's compiled successfully. Now you can observe okay. So here we need some space here. After length, so that the length is printing as well as this particular x values. Let me compile one more time. And now you can observe, so one parameter here, so one parameter here, and the varchar length here we are having 1, and this is our actual value. So same way 4 parameter, basically this is our string message, and this is our varchar length is equals to 4, and these are the values. And the third one, no parameters here, the length we are having 0. Length we are having 0. So this is the way we can check with the different parameters here. So this is the way we can check with different parameters here. Right. Now, so what I want to do, let me define one more method. So instead of string, we'll check with the one more method. So those are also same. Okay. So this is fine. Like I'm trying to check with the integer method, but anyway, the same method is going to call this particular VA test with string parameters. Getting the point. So whenever we are having like different parameters here, we can define like this here. Based on this particular parameters, we can work with our varchar concept here. And now I'm going to write with one more example on the overloading varchar methods here. So how we can check with the overloading varchar methods here? I'm trying to work with varchar 3. So inside this particular varchar 3, I want to check with the same method, VA test, so which is expecting integer as a parameter type here. I want to copy this particular parameter. Right. So now I'm defining one VA test which is expecting integer parameters. And second one also I'm trying to define here. Here I'm trying to define as a Boolean. So this is the different one. This is the different data type varchar concept we are discussing here. Now you can observe, if here I need to define VA test so integer and number of argument, and same way I want to copy here Boolean, and here number of arguments, and we'll have a loop. We'll try to print these particular values here. Right. So now let me close this particular method, and after this, now what I want to do, I want to check with our main method here. So before checking with the main method, let me copy so this method also. We are having 3 methods here. We are having 3 methods. Now you can see, so VA test, so which is expecting booleans, and second one, sorry, first one is expecting integer data type, second one boolean, and third one, so string string is expecting one parameter, and after this, so one more integer varchar concept here. Okay, so let's see, after defining this particular 3, now I want to check with our main method.
Work phone is coming.
And observe here, inside this particular main method, now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to define different parameters here. So like this particular method, I'm going to add different parameters. So I'm trying to add with integer. I'm trying to add with integer parameter list. And the second one, I'm trying to check with string with two different parameters. Right. And third one, I'm trying to check with Boolean data. Getting the point. So these are all about the different two parameters here. So this section we are going to call it as a overload var concept here. So basically we are having here the same method here only, which is expecting integer var parameter, and here we are having Boolean var parameter, and the third one we are passing string with integer var parameters. Right. Now, so let me save this particular example var 3. So Boolean cannot convert it into int. So line number 11. Okay. So here we need to change Boolean. So we are trying to convert to different data type here. So because of this, we are getting an error here. Let me compile one more time. So it's compiled successfully. var 3. Now you can observe here, based on this particular integer 3 parameters, so this particular var int method is called. Right. And testing. So testing is nothing but, so this is the second one, the string with integer parameter is called. String with integer parameter. And third one, we specified as a all the Boolean values here. So this particular Boolean method is called here. Getting the point. So this is all about the overloading var methods here. So any questions regarding this particular overload var methods?
We always using that static, right, for the method. So is there any mandate like whenever we use var so it should be static method?
No. Like basically, so instead of creating this particular object, I created here. So we'll see. So va dot. Let me check here. Okay. So it's compiled successfully and it is executing. Okay. So now we are going to write one more example. So you need to provide the output here, whether this particular example is going to compile or not. Let me define this particular example. var arg4. So inside this particular var arg4, Again, I'm defining so integer parameter vararg and system.out.print inside this particular method I'm passing as an integer and number of args. V dot length. Right. And after this, so we are trying to check with for each style here and system.out.print x value. Println. This method I'm closing. So same thing, I will copy the same method for this particular method. Boolean. Right. And I'm going to check with
Yes. Like
main method.
that,
And
I
here,
use that when it is that data address of that variable.
sorry, okay. So back to here, I'm trying to pass 1, 2, 3, and the second one I'm trying to pass as a
Okay.
so true false, some true false. And here I'm not passing anything here. Getting the point? I'm not passing anything here. So just think about this particular example. So whether it is going to give compilation successful or not. If it is giving compilation successful, so which one is going to execute here? So just think about this particular example. We define the two methods here. So which is expecting both are?
Because it is comparing the addresses, right?
Okay. So whatever this particular last method, so which VA test method is going to call? So okay. So let me run the same example. Java C vararg.java. Now you can observe. So just read this particular error here. And let me know like what you understand here.
What?
Yeah. When you try to call that VA test method without arguments, so there is some ambiguity. Compiler did not understand which method it should call, whether VA test with the integer arguments or VA test with the Boolean arguments. That is the reason like ambiguity here.
Yes. So basically, if I'm not adding any parameter here, so it is applicable for the both methods here. So either we can call with a VA test with a Boolean parameters, or we can work with a integer parameter. Getting the point. So this is important here. Whenever we are trying to work with this particular var concept here, now what we need here, we need to define parameters here. So whenever we are having more than one, the particular method if I am going to define in our class, so we cannot make as a the particular method as a empty here, right? So either we can work with the integer or we can work with the boolean here, right? So this is I want to share the information regarding this particular var arg4. Let me compile one more time and so run with the var arg4. Now you can see, so these are the two information. So first one is executing for the integer method, and the second one is executing for the boolean method. Getting the point. So these are the var arg concepts here. So any questions regarding this particular var arg concepts? Okay. So now we'll move on to the inheritance concepts here. So this is very important concept we are discussing here. So previously we checked with method overloading concept here. So now inside this particular inheritance here, we'll try to check with the method overriding here. Okay. So before going to discuss with the method overriding here, first we need to understand some of the basic concepts here. So those concepts we are going to discuss as a inheritance here, and basically the inheritance is one of the important OOPS principle here. Getting the point. So as of now, we discuss the method overloading here. The method overloading is comes under the polymorphism here, right? So we'll see after completion of this particular inheritance here. So we check with what exactly the OOPS principle we are having, and so far what we discuss here, again we can rework with different example here. Okay, so let's understand how this particular inheritance is going to work. So what I want to provide the information regarding this particular inheritance here, and as I explained here, this is so one of the object oriented the programming principle here, that getting the point. So this is one of the important feature called our OOPS principle here, and so it's going to provide the information regarding the classes hierarchical information. So what exactly the classes hierarchical information? So basically, whenever we are having two classes here, so it's going to provide the two classes object creation information here. Getting the point. The two object creation hierarchy information, so which is going to provide here, right? So whenever we are trying to work with multiple classes here, so those classes are having some relation here. So now we can easily understand here how these two classes are having the relation and how these particular objects are going to created here. Getting the point. And in the inheritance concept here, so we are going to work with parent and child relation here. Getting the point. We are going to work with parent-child relation here. And when we are having the super class, we are going to call it as a parent. And whenever we are having a child class, like the subclass, we'll call it as a child class here. We'll observe how exactly the parent and child class is going to work here. Okay. Now we'll check with a simple example here how exactly the parent-child relation is going to work. So when we are trying to work with inheritance here, we need to understand one keyword called extends. So this is one of the important keyword. So with the help of this particular so with the help of this particular extends keyword, now what we are going to do, we can easily understand here how this particular parent object is going to have the relation with the child here. Okay, so simple example I'm trying to write here. So we are having class A here. Inside this particular class A, we'll have I comma j value and show ij one method here. Getting the point. Now what I'm trying to do, so system dot out dot println. Inside this particular println method, ij values. And here I and j. Getting the point. So this is the class A we are defining. So as of now, we already understand here. So this particular class has been created multiple times here. But now, what you need to understand here. Here I am going to create one more class here. So this particular class B, and which is extending from the class A. Getting the point. So here we are using the extends keyword, and after using this particular extends keyword, so whatever the class we want to copy from the like we want to access from the superclass features here, we need to define here. So in our example, I'm specifying as a class here, so that this information we can access inside this particular class B. We can easily access inside this particular class called class B. Now observe class B I'm trying to create here. Inside this particular class B, I'm defining one more variable called int k. Inside this particular int k, let me define one more method called show k method. System dot out dot println k value. Getting the point. So along with this particular k value, now what we can do, I can access I and j also. Okay, if we observe, I'm having one more method called sum here. System dot out dot println. Now what I'm trying to write here, I place j plus k. Here I want to define one brace here, so that I place j plus k and close here. So this is a sum method, and I'm trying to close with class B. I'm trying to work with class B. Now, if I'm not adding this particular extends keyword here, if I'm not adding here, what happens internally? We are going to get a compilation error for these two variables here. Getting the point. So this is very important. We need to understand here. I and j we cannot access here, because so there is no relation between class B and class A here. Class B and class A here. Whenever we are trying to make this particular extends keyword, what happens internally? So we are going to have a relation. So between these two objects here, class A can have access to class B can have access to class A properties here. Right. Now you can observe, so A and B here. A and B. Now, so this section, all the properties we can access into the class B, but the reverse we cannot work here. The reverse we cannot work here. The B property, the B class properties we cannot access into the A class here. Getting the point. So this particular reverse order we cannot work here. Only so this particular the normal order from A to B we can access here. Okay. So we'll see the simple example here. So how exactly this particular extends keyword is going to work. Let me save this particular class. So to save this particular class, now what I want to do, I don't want to work with class A. We can check with parent class. And let me, I am trying to create with different class. Here, child. And the child is going to extend from the parent. Right. Child also created here. Now, I want to work with one more class here. So this class for our main method I'm going to create. Simple inheritance, public static void main, right? And here, what I'm trying to do, so basically, I want to initialize the value. So if you check with the parent and the child class, so as of now, these values are like this particular variable we could not initialize as of now. So I want to initialize this particular values here. Okay. So let's see how we can initialize here. And parent I'm trying to create one object. And so child also I'm created. Right. So I created two objects here. So p dot I is equals to 10 and p dot j is equals to 20. Getting the point. And now what I'm trying to do, I'm going to call with so we have a one method, something called show ij. Getting the point. Show ij method we defined here. So where we define this particular show ij method in our superclass. What is our superclass here? Parent. Okay. So back to here, with the help of this particular parent class object reference, I'm calling show and show ij method. Right. And after this, so I'm going to initialize with child class parameters. So ch dot I. And here, so 25 ch dot j is equals to 35 ch dot k and 45. And here, now what I'm trying to do, so if you observe carefully, with the help of this particular child class object here, I'm calling superclass method and subclass method and sum method. Now you can see here we are going to have only one option. So whatever the method we are having inside this particular parent class, the parent class method we can call show ij method, right? And now you can see inside this particular child class we are having two methods. So what are the two methods? Show k and sum method, right? Now if you observe, along with these two, we are able to call the superclass methods also. We are able to call the superclass methods here. Now we need to understand here how exactly this particular simple inheritance is going to work. Java C simple inheritance dot Java. So it's compiled successfully and I'm executing. Now you can observe ing values 10, 9, 20 and if we observe one more ing values here. So 25 and 35. So the 25 and 35 and 35 with a reference of, so which object we initialize here? Child object reference. With the reference of this particular child object reference, we initialize the ing values and we are calling superclass method. Now the k method we call, so this is the k method value, and finally, so these are the sum of sum of these three particular variables here, right? So these are about the simple inheritance. Simple inheritance is nothing but we'll have only one parent class and one child class here. So let me remove the child relation here. I'm trying to remove the relation here. So whenever I'm trying to remove this particular relation here, so I want to compile one more time. Now you can see how many errors we are getting here. So we are having 5 errors here. Below you can observe we are having 5 errors here. So we'll try to check with what are the errors we are having. We cannot access I, we cannot access J, and we cannot access I show J method, and finally here inside this particular sum of I and sum of J. Getting the point? So these are the 5 location, so we cannot access the variable here. Getting the point? Now what you understand here? So whenever we are making this particular extends keyword, so whatever the information we are having inside this particular superclass, so we can access into the our subclass here. We can access into our subclass here. So this is all about the parent-child relation here. Getting the point? Now what you understand here? So with the help of this particular parent-child relation here, we are having the object, the creation hierarchy or not. Getting the point? So now with the help of here, the child class object here, we are able to call the superclass information here. So any questions regarding this particular, the simple inheritance here? So basically, what I'm trying to provide here is going to acquire all the properties and behaviors of the parent class here, right? Basically, so it's going to acquire is nothing but with the help of this particular child object here, we are able to access the superclass information or not, right? So this is all about the simple inheritance here, and So this particular inheritance, we are going to call it as a relation here. Getting the point? So a relation is nothing but one parent-child relation here. Getting the point? So some people, they may call as a relation here. So a relation is nothing but, here we are going to have only one parent and one child object here. So the simple we identified here something called A and B. So A is here is going to play as a parent role, and the B is going to play as a child role here, right? And so this particular relation we can call it as a relation as well, right? So if we don't have anything here, we'll try to check with another example on the same this particular relations concept here. Let me clear this particular console. Okay, so along with this, I want to work with one more. Here, I'm having one more class. The name of the class called employer. So int salary, I'm trying to initialize here something called 1000. I'm not defining much information here. Employer I'm trying to save. And after this, and programmer is going to extend from our employer. And here, so here we are going to give as a bonus some 500, and inside this particular programmer class I want to define main method. Right, now what I am trying to do, so this is a simple example I am trying to define. And PR dot salary. Right, and along with this, we can access bonus also. This is a simple example for our simple inheritance as well as the parent-child relation also we're going to call. Let me clear the console. Java C programmer.java. $1,000 and $500. The 1,000 is coming from the employer class, 500 is coming from the programmer. But the object we created for the programmer, with the help of this particular programmer, we are trying to call with two variables here. So one is defined in our superclass and another one is defined in our subclass. Right. So these are about the simple here, and so we'll check with different example here. Now I want to check with inside this particular parent private variable I'm trying to define here. So now private integer. Getting the point? So previously both are public. Now I'm making j as a private here. And finally, now what I am trying to do, I will check with the one more method here. Into ij. Into ij. So this dot I is equals to I. This dot j is equals to j. Right. So I made as a one setter method. And I want to check with the child class. So inside this particular child class, now what I am trying to do, I want to comment out our show method and into total. So inside this particular sum, total is equals to I plus j. Total is equals to I plus j. Right. Whenever I am trying to call the total I plus j. So finally, now what we can do, so we'll try to print this particular total. So can you please let me know if I'm going to call this particular sum method, any error we are going to get? Any error we are going to get?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Now we need to understand carefully. So inside this particular parent class, we define one more method to set the values here. Set ij. Right. And the same ij I'm trying to access into the child class into this particular total. So finally, we are trying to print this particular total. So inside this, what I'm going to write here, inside this particular class, let me comment out this particular, all the sections here. Here I'm creating child class object here. So with the help of this particular child class object here, now what I'm trying to do, I'm calling set ij method. Here I'm trying to pass with a 10, 20. And finally, ch dot sum method I'm trying to call. Finally, I'm trying to call sum method. Let's see, we can recompile the code one more time. Now what you understand here?
Yeah, it is private. We cannot call in another class.
So this is, we need to think very carefully whenever we are trying to work with the inheritance here. So basically, the private access modifier is going to applicable within the same class. So it's nothing but we can access the private information within this particular parent class, within our parent class. If I'm trying to access from the outside of this particular parent class, so we are going to get an error here, even though we are going to work with our inheritance here. So this is, I want to provide the information regarding the private access modifier in our inheritance, that is called the simple inheritance here. Not only the simple inheritance, so we cannot use any inheritance here. The private access modifier, it's not applicable in our inheritance example. Okay, so we'll check with one more, the practical example So that is called box class. We can I will try to open the box class here. So this is all our so inside this particular box class, now what I'm trying to do, let me check with these three parameter variables I'm going to use them. So box constructor okay. So we'll keep as it is here. Now what I'm trying to do, with the help of this particular box class object here, I'm going to work with one more here. I'm going to work with one more class. Okay. Here box weight. So this particular box weight is going to extend from our box class here. So whenever this particular class is extended here, now what happens internally? So we can access whatever the information we are having inside this particular box class. Getting the point? Now here we are having only one variable. So that is called weight, and I'm trying to define the constructor here. The box weight constructor I'm defining. So before going to check initialize this particular constructor, now we need to check the box constructor first, whether we are having the three parameters constructor or not. So this is the different constructor, and this is the different constructor, and okay, we are having three parameters constructor here, and same way here default constructor, right? Now, so back to here, the last class, I want to define box weight constructor. So can I use like this? If I'm going to use, if I'm going to define this particular box weight constructor here, so what are the values we are going to get for our box class parameters, like box class variables here? So we are having three variables here. So what are the three variables we are having? Something called width, height, and depth here. For these three variables here, what are the values are going to initialize here whenever I'm trying to call this particular box weight constructor? Okay, so let's see what we can do. We'll try to save this particular box weight class, and inside this particular box weight class again. So basically, so here also we can work with the main method, or we can create one more class for our main class here. So instead of creating another class directly, I'm creating here. Getting the point? So we can work with anywhere. And here, now what I'm trying to do, box weight is equals to BW new box weight. Right. Sorry. So we don't have a default constructor. We're having parameters constructor. We need to specify some value here, something called 34.3. Now specify the box weight constructor. And after this, now what I'm trying to do, BW dot, because in the box weight, we don't have any information other than this particular constructor. Now if I want to call, we need to check with our superclass. We need to check with our superclass information only. So inside this particular superclass, we are having value method. Getting the point? So now we need to check whether the value method is trying to returning value or not. Go to the box class and let me go to the value. Now you can see it's trying to return this particular three variable information. After multiplying these three variable information, we are going to get some output here. Okay. Now what I want to do, I want to handle with our sysout, or we can check with any parameter. So I don't want to check with any parameter. So directly I'm trying to print using this particular println method. Right. So now box weight. Okay. So this particular box weight is already saved here. Now, if I'm going to call this particular value method, so what is the value we are going to get here? Any idea? Like what is the output we are going to get? Okay. So before going to ask this question, whether we can call this particular value method or not here. So from the box weight class, we can call this particular value method or not.
Yes, we
call
can.
it.
Because it is extending box and box has volume method.
Okay, right. So if it is like we can call this particular value method, so what is your output you are expecting here?
And same 34.3 multiplied 3 times same value. Like length, because we are passing one value. So I think 34.3 will be
The
multiplied 3
34.3
times.
is going to multiply by 3.
So yeah, 3 times, 34.3 into 3 into 3, 34.3 into 34.3, that way. Like
Okay.
cube.
So let's see, we'll try to compile this particular box weight class. Java C box weight.java. It is compiled successfully, and Java box weight 6000. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, so what we are expecting, this is not the correct output here.
Yeah. When it called volume method, right, from child, okay, so it will execute default constructor of superclass. So whatever I, j, k are there, height with the three values, it will
Yes.
take from default constructor, and volume will be calculated.
Yes. So basically, this particular constructor is applicable only this class. We are not setting any values from here. The super class, whatever the variable we are having, we are not setting the values from here. So if I'm not setting here, what happens internally? By default, getting the point. Here, if I'm going to call the superclass constructor, the superclass constructor is going to execute explicitly. But if you observe, the box weight constructor, we are not calling any superclass constructor, or we are not setting any the variable which are available in our superclass. So those something called width, height, and w, like depth here. So the three variable values we are not setting here. Right, if I'm not setting here, and if I'm not calling any constructor from our child class, what happening internally? So the default constructor is going to execute our superclass. So let's see here if I'm going to change the different two values here. Double something called with now I define 4 variables here. Okay, let me copy this particular the 3 variables here. Right. So height is equals to h and depth is equals to d. And finally, now what I am trying to do, the weight, whatever the weight we are having, we are specifying here. And I want to specify the same for the all the 4 parameters. Let me save this particular class and I want to compile one more time. Getting the point. So basically, previously also we expected this particular output here, but we could not get. So because of we did not change the box class parameters information. Right now, so we change this particular information. What I'm trying to do with help of this particular box weight class, I'm trying to initialize the superclass variable and the subclass variable here. Whenever we are trying to initialize this particular superclass variable, if I'm going to perform any operations, so whatever the value we are having inside this particular superclass, so those values we are going to get. Right. So this is all about the simple example on the box and box weight here. So any questions regarding this particular box weight class? Okay. If you don't have anything, let's say I'm going to work with one more example here. Here I want to check with color box. And this particular color box is extending from our box class. And I'm trying to providing one variable called color. And color box constructor here. Double D finally into C. Sorry. Into C. So this is our constructor I'm trying to define. Right. And here width is equals to
Comma,
W.
you missed comma between double H and double D.
Okay. Height is equals to H. And This is the constructor I'm trying to initialize here, and I'm not going to change anything here. And simply after constructor, right here, I will check with the color box constructor. Here we need to define some values here. So whenever I'm trying to define this particular values, this is important here. Basically, here what we are doing here, so directly the superclass variable we are initializing, and whatever the operation we want to perform, we are performing here. And here, now what I want to do, I want to check with the volume here. So instead of return type, and here color. Right. So finally, I want to call this particular subclass value method. Let's see what are the values we can specify. 3, 5, 7, something called 8.37, and cb dot value. cb dot value. This is all about the column box here.
Color.
Let me compile this particular Java C colorbox.java. Sorry.
2 errors.
Here we need to specify the int here. What happened here? In the color box cannot override the volume. Okay.
D.
Right. So
Mention D on
basically,
the hello.
yes.
Mention D in the top. Like we have to do typecast, right? We are using int. We have given that as double, but we are using integer.
Okay, the error is completed. So this is basically it is a overriding method here. So this method we'll see in our upcoming classes. So as of now what I'm trying to do, let me check with VOL. Okay, so how exactly we can work with the same value method in our subclass, we can see in our upcoming classes. I want to provide some information whenever we are trying to work with the overriding method here. Okay, so for this example, I'm trying to recompile one more time. I changed the method name here. Now it is compiled successfully. Color box. So this is the volume of this particular box, including this particular color we are getting here. Right. So these are about the information whenever we are trying to work with the parent and child relation here. Right. So what is our parent here? Parent is our box class and child is our color box. So previously we are having box is our parent class and box weight is our child class. Getting the point. Now here we are having one important information I want to share here. So how we can work with the superclass variable, how we can work with the superclass variable with a subclass object here. So this is important. And to understand here, now what I want to do, here I want to create one simple object information. So we'll check with the box weight here. And the box weight I created here. And now what I'm trying to do, I will create one more object called box. Getting the point. Now we are having two objects here. First one is a box weight object. Second one is a box object here. And finally, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to define one variable called VOL. So using VOL BW dot value method I'm calling, right? And system dot out dot println volume of box weight. Here VOL. And I want to check with weight dot, sorry, not weight, BW dot weight. So weight of box weight. Right. So this is all about the some variable here. Weight variable we define inside our box weight class. Okay. Now what I'm trying to do, so BO is equals to BW. Getting the point. BO is equals to BW. So BO is nothing but our box class object here. And now what I'm doing is, whatever the box weight object we are having, the box weight object information we are initializing into BO. We are initializing into BO. Right. So whenever I'm trying to initializing here, now what I want to do, I want to check with all these three here. So with the help of BO and with the help of BO. Cutting the point. So here the box weight object we initialize into the box object. So finally again we are calling the value method and we are checking with the local variable called weight here. So now what is the output we are expecting here? So what about this particular value and what about this particular value and this particular weight variable here? So what you are trying to think? The line number 19, 18, 19, 14, 15. Okay, let's see. We'll try to run our this simple example here. So Java say boxweight.java. Cannot find the symbol here. Now what you understand here? So why we are getting this error here? Any idea?
Weight is not there in superclass. So
But if you observe here, now what I'm trying to do, BW. So BW is nothing but box weight object. I'm initializing into BO. That is called our superclass object, something called box here. Right. So basically, even though the box class information we're copying into box class, but whatever the information we are having inside this particular box class, so those variables only we can access here. Getting the point? We are copying an object, like we are initializing whatever the object we are having into BO, but here inside this box, particular box weight, we are having this particular weight, but the same variable we did not define in our box class. Getting the point? If you observe here, BO dot weight. So BO is a box type here. BO is a box type here. Just we copy the object into the box class, but here the compiler is going to check the object information with the help of this particular type of object here. Type of object here. Getting the point? So BO is having the box type. Again, it will go to the box class. It will try to find out this particular weight variable here. So this particular weight variable, it is not there here. Getting the point? So this is very important here. So with the help of this particular same example, we can see how we can work with the superclass object reference with the subclass object. So that is we can check with tomorrow. But this particular simple example also important here. Even though object we copied into the superclass, but whenever we are trying to copy, so whatever the variable we are having in the superclass, so those are the information only it's going to copy it here. Getting the point? So any questions? So this particular inheritance is very important concept we are discussing here. So try to practice so that we can understand how exactly the inheritance is working internally. Okay. So we'll try to continue tomorrow with another topic, the same inheritance concepts only.
Okay.
Okay. So using the super keyword, how we can work with our inheritance concepts. So basically, we identified this keyword. So tomorrow we are going to discuss super keyword here. So in how many ways we can work with this particular super keyword, we can discuss.
Like what will be the difference like a super by using?
So that we can discuss like recording this keyword and super keyword.
Okay.
Okay. So what about any queries regarding our current sessions? Please let me know. So otherwise, we'll continue tomorrow.
No, currently I am not having any doubts. I have to practice this.
Okay.
Okay. If there is any doubt, I will let you know tomorrow in the class.
Okay.
Can you please,
Before starting.
can you please walk me through Varal's classes again? What did you do in that? Just gist of it.
Okay. So do one thing, like I'm going to upload the today class video.
And last class also.
Yeah. So just check with the recorded sessions and let me know like if I'm having anything, because we explained with the multiple examples here.
Yeah. Okay, fine, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow.